Friendly greetings, Torley bot here to help you figure out how to record voice, chat, and other sounds in Second Life. Now, do keep in mind that there are myriad possible configurations depending on what sound card you have and how the sliders are set up, but this will cover a lot of common cases, so apply them to your specific scenario. First of all, obviously, you're going to want to make sure that sound is working in Second Life. It's on, as you can see, and not muted. So you can also click this upward pointing arrow thingy. Just make sure that what you have is balanced. Like you may want some sounds, in-world sounds louder. You may want to turn off the UI sounds, like when you make things and click on the pie menu. Make sure you set that up beforehand. And make sure, of course, that voice is on if you want to record a voice event. I usually have mine set about here because on my setup, that's a nice balance between too soft and too loud. It's kind of like the three bears. It's just right. Porridge. But anyway, let's go to the edit menu and to preferences, and let's make sure voice chat. As you can see, it's enabled. Run this all first to make sure you're set up and that you're voice chatting. Otherwise, these other efforts will be in vain. You don't want that. So now that that's all right, I configured this before, let's go OK. I'm going to show you now a program called Audacity. Let me just pop this over here. This is what I use to record voice sometimes. Not all the time. I actually have a recording suite of other programs. But Audacity is nice because it's free and it's very simple to use. You see it has transport controls here. You can easily record pushing this red button. All right? And in addition to that, let me show you where you might look. I am on Windows XP. If you're on Vista or another sorts of configuration, this may be different. But in this case, you see Control Panel, and I set things up in sound and audio devices. Also, if you use Realtek or if you use Sound Blaster, you're going to want to make sure for your sound card or integrated sound processor that you have things set up right. So I have a Realtek chip. And I will double click this and let me bring that over too. Specifically, what you want to look for, it's usually called stereo mix or on Sound Blaster, what you hear. And that's what must be on. So it records the things that you hear through your computer, being in-world voice and other sound effects, as it were. Also note there's a bit of a trickiness with the Realtek stuff. I explained this. This was one of the most popular posts on my personal blog, that up here, it's kind of unintuitive, but you want to make sure that the mic volume is set here as well. And that if you click here, microphone boost is on if it's too soft. And notice how that looks like it's quiet, but it's not because the record volume is actually controlled through there. Confusing, I know. If you have further questions about this, please let me know or see my personal blog for the post. And of course, I want to record both my mic volume, that's me speaking right now, and the stereo mix. If you don't want to record yourself speaking, then you can click or a slider. In this case, all these don't have individual volumes because they're controlled by that. Just keep that in mind as well. And on some systems, including mine, if you're speaking at the same time and recording, it can cause a nasty and confusing feedback effect. Unfortunately, I haven't found an elegant way around that. That's something to keep in mind. So with this enabled, both mic volume and the stereo mix, or what you hear on a Sound Blaster, let's OK that. And so that's all fine too. And so what we can do now is we can begin recording in Audacity. The moment you press this button right after that, I've just started the program and it's very simple. It'll show you live voice waveform display. And when I have sounds in world, like click, kitty, click, and I build things like that and say we're in a voice meeting, having a voice meeting, having a voice meeting. Then we go back to Audacity to check the waveform and it's still recording. It was recording in the background, right? Yes, of course. So now we stop it. And let's scroll back to the beginnings, and let's play that, okay? So, it'll show you live voice waveform display, and when I have sounds in world, like click, kitty, click, and I build things like that, and say we're in a voice, yeah, where the voice is, you can see, here rather, that was recorded. So joy, and there you have it right there. And unfortunately, though, if your sound card, most of them do, by the way, this is very common. Most have a Realtek or Sound Blaster, will have stereo mix or what you hear as I described. If you don't have that, you may need an external program such as Total Recorder, Sound Tap, or on a Mac, Audio Hijack should do the trick. And in this case now, what you're going to want to do is File menu, and of course you can export as WAV, and that's what you want to click on. And then from there, you'll just save it to a standard WAV file, which you can encode. You can also export as MP3. I am an audio engineer by trade, so I often do things like boost volume levels and use some dynamic compression. Those are more advanced techniques. I might do a tutorial for those in the future if you're interested. Some good free tools to do that, but a lot of what I use right now is commercial software because I haven't found a substitute for it. Remember that you should only record voice chats that people have consented to, like everyone wants an archive of the recording afterwards. But let me turn the sound on. You can see here he's talking, voice waves above, and that is all getting recorded into Audacity or another sound application as you see fit. Just have your avatar nearby. And it also helps edit menu, preferences, and in the voice chat. If hear voice from camera position, I usually like this because this means I can be seated a ways away and just zoom my camera in to record voice. There's not a lot of activity happening here. Just a very fast example though. All right, you've learned hopefully how to record voice in Second Life. Enjoy this and do let me know what sort of follow-up you would enjoy. Have a lovely day.